Hi everyone. So today we are going to do a project based on Gustav Klimt's Tree of Life. So if you want to see what that looks like, I want you to Google Klimt Tree of Life. Or if you just Google Tree of Life, you'll find a cool picture that's got this tree in the center and then all of these branches that spiral out. Looks super cool. So we're going to make the fifth grade version of that because my fifth graders thought this was a super cool project. We're going to do this on a smaller scale than what my fifth graders did. I'm going to do it on a piece of 9 by 12 paper. I'm going to use a paint stick for my tree. I'm going to draw it first with pencil. We are going to do this in a couple different parts. So this is part 1, where we're going to do the tree with the paint stick. Part 2, I'll do watercolor for the background. Part 3, we're going to do colors for the circles. And you can see my hands are quite painted from another video I was doing a little bit ago. So today we're going to start out with Gustav Klimt's Tree of Life. I'm going to start out on a smaller version, but it'll still be super cool. Today is a day where you use whatever materials you have at your house. So if you have paint sticks, that's awesome. If you don't, paint works great, markers work great, colored pencils, crayons, whatever you have will be amazing. We're just going to do it together and see what happens. So I'm going to swap cameras really quick and then we can get started. So as you can see, I do have a messy mat underneath my piece of paper. I'm actually going to turn it so that when I paint, it'll actually cover it all. Before that, though, we're going to go ahead and draw our tree. So I'm going to start down here at the bottom, and I want you to put your hand and have it going so that it's in the middle. We're going to make a mark on both sides of our hand. And this is just to make sure that your tree has some width. So we're going to come up from here, and you're going to draw me a line that goes like this, and one that curves up the other direction. So you want them to curve and go up. We're going to make kind of a V shape in the middle. And then we're going to start to make our curvy branches. Now this one, I'm going to curl around. This one, I'm going to spiral this way. Now notice my spirals have a lot of space between. And the reason why is when I do my paint stick, this is not super skinny. So it needs to have some space to make its mark. Now I have a lot of white space in here. So I'm going to come in and make some spirals. And I can make some spirals coming off of those. And you're just going to make some spirals to kind of fill in your negative space. So that's the top. Now I'm going to come down. For here, I'm going to start over here and I'm going to draw me a spiral going this way. But we need to make this look more like a tree branch. So I'm going to draw a connecting line to make this kind of a triangle space and a tree branch. I'm going to do the same right here and add that same type of line. Now, I've got some space in here. I'm just going to circle in a little bit. Circle in. They don't need to be super big. They can all be little branches. Then I'm going to do the same on the other side, but I'm going to circle this one up. And this one I'm going to circle down. So that they've got some cool different spots to them. Now, if you'll notice, are these directly across from each other? No, because that creates visual interest. They're at an angle to each other. Same with these two. They're not directly across from each other, and that just creates some visual interest. I'm gonna add one more spiral right there. And now it's time for paint sticks. So my paint stick is just like a glue stick, only made with paint. I twist the bottom up and down to make the paint go up and down, and then I can just go ahead and paint on my paper. So I'm going to fill in my center trunk. And you can see some of the paper texture coming through. To get rid of some of that, I just kind of angle my paint stick a little bit differently. Just filling in my center. And then I'm going to come over. And you're going to see that I'm not exactly tracing where my branches were. And that's okay. I'm going to come back with an eraser and erase some of my lines. So this does not have to be perfect. So if you don't get them straight on your line, that's okay. We're going to come through next time and we're going to erase. So with this project, you're going to want to let it dry after this if you're using paint or watercolors, because we want that to be nice and dry for when we do our next part. So here's my kind of miniature Gustav Klimt tree. I'm going to draw a little guy right there because that's kind of a weird space. So if you want to make some thicker, you can go back over and do another line of paint. If you're happy with how it is, great. So here's my Gustav Klimt tree. And now I'm going to let it dry. So it's not going to take very long to dry. It'll take a little bit. And I want to make sure it's nice and dry before I come in and do my background, because my background is going to be watercolor. So I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful rest of your day and see you soon.